The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
God, I'm so flabbergasted I can't talk this morning. Oh, my God, these headlines.
Well, before we get into the headlines, we have another announcement for the Cable TV Focus Group. Got to remind you people, Wednesday, May 16th from 3:30 to 5:30, Thursday from 3 to 5, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m., this is May 16th and 17th at the Spencer Borden Elementary School Community Room, 1400 President Avenue, Fall River. You are asked to please come and state what you feel about Fall River, what Fall River needs, what your cable system needs, what you want from cable, what you want from Fall River, and what changes need to be made. If you don't talk on this issue, then you can't complain. Just want to let you know.
Okay, now, TGIF, it's Friday and all the big news, but let's look at the real news. Okay, what did Mayor Correa do? Pulled it out of the archives. Purple, no more purple. Yep, he's going to save you a couple of dollars a week that they weren't raising anywhere near the money they should have. But if you read the other little article, it says raises taxes. Also, more water fees, more sewer fees, more jobs, more pay raises. Yes, you're getting a good deal, everybody. And for all you man crushes with Jazel that call and say, see, I told you. Well, good. I'll tell you what. You want to save me $2 a week or $4 a week, and then jack up my taxes and all my fees for the past 4 years. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not a very good deal, because if you think that's a good deal, I'll tell you what, I'll go over to your house and I'll give you $4 a week and you give me $50 a week. Okay? That's a good deal for you. Because obviously you think that the purple bags, because that's the big mantra. See, now it's going to say, you see, it doesn't matter all these crony jobs and all the jobs I'm giving. It doesn't matter. I got rid of your lousy $10 bags, $2 bags, 5 for $10. Why? What a sport I am. And by the way, don't remember that I supported these purple bags. Right? Don't remember that I was Will Flanagan's spokesman when he got reelected before he got recalled. Don't forget that Will Flanagan gave Kathy Ann a job to get her out of the city council so I could get on the city council. But don't forget any of that. No, but he wants you to forget. He also wants you to forget the new job that we had corroborated by 2 sources. Apparently, an individual who was in a relationship with the chief of staff's relative got a $14 an hour job somewhere. I forgot what department it was. It's
Parks Department.
Huh? Parks?
Parks.
Park. All right. $14 an hour. So people will go, so what? Chump change. Yeah, it's just like a gimme position. Well, he probably wasn't, qualified, but what are the qualifications? Okay, you follow around somebody and do what they tell you for $14 an hour. But now he got a new job. He's going to make $65,000 a year, over $30 an hour. From $14 an hour, he has now become, and we have to double check this, but we've had this confirmed by 2 sources. He will be the highest paid individual in DCM.
Except for the director.
Except for the director. I'm talking about worker.
Right.
You know, working foreman. He will be the highest paid individual in DCM. But don't worry about it, all you Jazo lovers. He got rid of the bags. Don't worry. Just let them keep employing every single human being that either has a relationship or is related to anybody that held a sign for them.
Well, here's the thing. The position that this gentleman took, and the gentleman's name is Matt Resendiz. I mean, I'm not going to hide the fact.
Yeah, well, personally, the name was irrelevant.
Right.
The first guy told me. The second person I corroborated it with, because obviously these people who give us tips, their identities, and I didn't ask him to identify himself. I corroborated
I didn't ask mine to identify
Yeah, you
himself
did.
either.
You got one. I called another person, and then he got somebody to call me, and they corroborated the fact that this is fact. It did happen. So, the name. Look, and that's the reality. We'll give you the name. You know the name. Now that you said the name, I remember the name. But the reality is the name doesn't matter. Because you need a scorecard if you want to remember all the names. It's what happens. People get a job with the city. They don't have to live in the city. This guy probably lives in the city. But as Falsfiore, who's now disappeared into the woodwork, is not complying with the charter. People on boards are not complying with the charter. And so it doesn't matter. The names are irrelevant. What happens is it's the total disregard for the taxpayer, a total disregard for the charter, which, by the way, is the reason that Joe Macy keeps saying, this is the way it is until I'm taken to court. Because he may be one of the, not maybe, I'm going to say in my opinion, because it's my opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact. You can disagree. He may be the worst corporation counsel because they're all political hacks. They all fashion opinions to make them here. But I have never seen such opinions. But he's always saying, it's this way, my interpretation of the charter is this way until you go to court. Because he knows he's going to lose. The fact is, he's full of crap. This is not a discretionary law. A charter is the fundamental document, the Constitution of this city. It is not a home rule petition. It's not a discretionary law. There are some laws in the state of Massachusetts, like, for example, 32B sections 21 through 23, where they screwed all the city employees on their health care and took it out of collective bargaining. That is not mandatory. When that section of 32B was passed, each individual city and town had to adopt those sections. They had to adopt it. But I'll tell you what isn't discretionary: the Constitution of the state of Massachusetts, the Constitution of the United States. Now, if he says that he's interpreting it wrong, well, that's fine if he admits it. But he's saying it's discretionary, and it is not discretionary. The charter is not discretionary. We've adopted the charter, and regardless, and I won't say irregardless like everybody in Fall River says, because that's a double negative. But regardless, if it was discretionary, we adopted it. They voted for it at the polls. Just like the city council had to adopt sections 21 through 23, and they are liable and culpable for all the extra money that all the employees are paying, as much as the mayor, who did it to save money. They didn't have to accept 21 through 23. They could have left it in collective bargaining, but they didn't. So, we'll give it one more last wave, and then it's going to probably go in the attic forever because they're gone. And remember, he did it. Bye-bye, purple bags. Goodbye. In the trash. See you later. Okay.
Well, what's interesting is I just received some information. I'm telling you, people just keep bringing stuff right away. They're saying that we may have the name wrong. They say it may be Matt Almeida.
Oh, well, that's why I'm saying. To me, that's why.
You need a scorecard.
It doesn't make any difference. The reality is the guy's getting 65 grand.
But wait, there's more to this, okay? Number one, he has no experience in the job.
Okay.
He's the asphalt and concrete supervisor, which was a position created by the union.
Yeah.
He has no experience in that job. He has no CDL license. He has no backhoe experience. And no hydraulics. And there's also an allegation that he's getting a $10,000 stipend, another stipend, for snow duty. Now, I've requested the records from Human Resources, and I'm going to send another one out now with the new name on it, just so they can't say, well, we didn't know that you gave us the wrong name, just in case, so we'll find out which name it is.
Yeah.
But
can't we just put, to whom it may concern, the guy that just got his pay tripled?
Yeah.
They might be able to identify him that way. Their name is irrelevant.
And he came from the park department. Now, according to, our sources, there's also a grievance being filed on this.
Well, justifiably so. Obviously, if it's a union position. But then again, who cares about having anybody qualified? We don't.
But this just goes to show you that if you want a job in Fall River, you have to be banging someone in City Hall, or somebody who knows somebody in City Hall.
Or you have to hold a sign. And then you get appointed.
Or give $20,000 to the legal defense fund.
And we saw what happened when at that meeting when and one of the chair of that committee doesn't live in the city. Is that correct? And he's a city employee. So, I mean, who cares? And then we've got people that are full-time employees of the city on boards like the Housing Authority.
Well, I've got to read this now.
Uh-oh.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts Office of Campaign and Political Finance. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Case number CPF 18-26. If it's got a docket number on it, you're all set. Addressed to Nicholas M. Christ, Bristol County Chamber Foundation, P.O. Box 1311, Fall River 02722. This office has completed its review of a complaint alleging that a group called Durfee Rising did not disclose its activity to influence a ballot question that was put to the voters in Fall River on March 6, 2018. You indicated Durfee Rising is one of several informational and promotional projects funded by the Bristol County Chamber Foundation. The purpose of the Educational Committee of the Bristol County Chamber Foundation is to promote awareness and to make educational attainment a priority in southeastern Massachusetts. You stated to OCPF in January 2017, with the planning for a new Durfee High School just underway, the committee wanted to support transparent public information to engage the public in the proposed high school. BCCF contracted with the communication firm 3C Strategy to plan and execute the communication efforts branded as Durfee Rising, to make the planning and process leading to a new school transparent, public, and informational so voters would be knowledgeable and engaged if it went to a special election. The Durfee Rising project included a website, Facebook, and Twitter pages that were used to promote general information and to maintain a conversation for both the supporters and opponents of the new school. You have acknowledged, however, that once it was determined the question would appear on the ballot, the Durfee Rising website was updated on February 16, 2018 to include a message that read, "Vote yes," on March 6, 2018. By adding this language, the website changed from an informational-based site to the one that clearly advocated for the passage of a ballot question. Mass General Law, Chapter 55, Section 22 states that any organization that makes an expenditure of $250 or more to influence a ballot question without raising money for that purpose must file a report to disclose the expenditures. Further, the section requires such a report to be filed with the city clerk as follows: the 8th day preceding an election and 30 days after the election, if activity occurs in the both reporting periods. Accordingly, since the ballot question vote for the new Durfee High School was held on March 6, 2018, OCPF has determined that since the expenditure to update the website exceeded $250, the disclosure for Durfee Rising website should have occurred on February 26, 2018, the 8th date preceding the election report. BCCF, once contacted by this office, was made aware of the filing requirements, filed a CPF M22 report on April 5, 2015 with the Fall River City Clerk. The report disclosed a $1,000 payment to 3C Strategy on February 16, 2018 for the cost of updating the Durfee Rising website. The failure to file this report in a timely manner, however, did not comply with the campaign finance law. Although the report was filed late, OCPF has concluded this matter may be closed at this time because disclosure of the activity has now occurred, and because we believe that this letter and our guidance will ensure further compliance with the campaign finance law. In accordance with the opinion of the Supervisor of Public Records, this letter is a public record. A copy is being provided to the person who brought this matter to our attention. Da-da-da-da! Nick Christ is guilty!
Yeah, and we knew that. I mean, when, we had about 3 weeks or 4 weeks to try to say, they're buying it. But, guess what? Again, we get into what it's about in this city, and they've
the
elevated
law doesn't
it.
apply to me. The law doesn't apply to me.
That's right. The law doesn't apply and pay to play. The reality is that somebody had that little. They had something on, I don't know if it's Facebook or what, because I don't really follow that stuff. But, I was told that they had, Jazel at a Snow Owl desk with $20,000 for letters. But it's like everything. It's like pay to play. If you're a bank president and you want to get an inside track on something, you support all these little things. And I know I'm gonna hear all, Chris is a wonderful guy and he loves education. Yeah, he loved education. His wife got to be a school principal and made six figures for years. So is there a question about whether that promotion should have happened? Well, I would say I would really question it, because I've seen a lot of those promotions. Pay to play. It's pay to play in this city. You look at the list of contributors to the Legal Defense Fund, they're all somebody with a dog in the fight. You don't see anybody giving it, although, CJ and I did discuss chipping in and giving him $5, but
well, that was after Mark Dion said it.
Yeah, we decided against it. We're going to give it to Woofy, so Special Assistant Woofy. But this is the thing that should be disturbing. It's disturbing. Again, got rid of the purple bags, raise your taxes. You got Terry Sullivan asking for more money, even though he had money left over from last year. We got the Corporation Council telling people from the. And believe me, I was against the charter. As you know, we were against the charter. And we were very, very vocal. But it passed. I live, I abide by the laws. Like, I've used purple bags. Does it irritate me that there are people in this community that never, ever used a purple bag and never got fined? Yeah, it's a slap in the face to people who obeyed the law, like I did. But I can guarantee if I didn't put a purple bag in my barrel, I would have had, my barrels would have looked like Christmas trees with all the tickets. And so, and CJ would have suffered the same fate. As a matter of fact, they tried to fine you when you didn't even violate anything.
Exactly.
So, this is, again, a double standard. But, how can you not be incensed by the fact that the Corporation Council is manipulating the charter in favor of the politicians and their political appointees, when in fact, our favorite part of the Massachusetts Constitution is clear.
Part of the first, Article 5.
Part of the first, yep, Article 5. It clearly states that all agents and magistrates and all the people who work under them, including the Corporation Council, are at all times answerable to the people. And if it doesn't disturb you that the Corporation Council of the city of Fall River is telling you, pay me 90 grand out of your tax money, you're paying my salary, but I work for the mayor, whose salary you pay too, and who we're supposed to be answerable to. And if you don't like what I say because it's political, take me to court with more of your money. Spend your money and let me go to court and fight you with your money. And this is the reason that old statement rings so true. You can't fight City Hall. You can't fight them, not because you're not right. It's because you can't afford it. The average person cannot afford to be going to court, paying lawyers to represent them in court to fight something unless it means millions of dollars, because you're going to spend your entire life savings to prove a point. And that's just wrong. It's a violation of the Constitution. And like our charter, all the politicians ignore it, even though that they swear to uphold it. Even though they swear every single time they get reelected, those clown faces stand up there with their hand up and swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States and of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And then they spend the rest of their term ignoring it or making it discretionary. We're voting very shortly again on reduction in the sales tax. Refresh my memory, CJ. Didn't we do that once already?
Yep.
And didn't we vote to reduce it?
Yep.
And did we reduce it?
Nope.
Why not?
It wasn't expedient for the elected officials.
Because our politicians said, even though the Constitution said they're all times answerable to us, and we voted for it, they said no. We got to get a pay raise. What do you clowns want? Yeah, you clowns want to actually save a few dollars? The hell with you. That's not. We're not going to reduce your sales tax. We're not going to give you we're not even going to give you a sales tax holiday. But we're going to give ourselves $80,000 stipends and pay raises. So, you know, the whole thing is, you know, Massachusetts, you know, we were the state that fired the shot heard around the world. You know, Lexington and Concord. That's where our revolution began. And I'm going to tell you, it's to the point where we're going to have to go city and town by town and try to get people to wake up, because apparently, you know, everybody just says there's nothing you can do, but there is. But we have to get together. Just like in Fall River. Everybody's going to go, oh, the purple bags, the purple bags. We got rid of the purple bags. And then the next headline by Joe Good, that one was by the city editor, purple bags are gone. Another increase every single year, maximum tax. And by the way, we had the statistics, and I don't have them now. We had the figures because when we were advocating against the override, we had the statistics. It's not a 2.5% increase. It's far more than 2.5% most years. One year, I think the top was 11% difference. That's
right, because that 2.5 is not on your personal property tax.
Exactly.
That's on the entire levy.
That's right.
That's on the entire levy.
And you know what goes in there? Tips.
Tips, exactly.
Tips. You're paying for the tips. So it's when you see your taxes go up and go, wow, that's not 2.5% more than I paid last year. Of course it isn't, because now you're paying for the tips they gave Market Basket. You're paying for all the tips every single time. So that's the thing. So you got rid of the purple bags, which, as I said, I will reiterate, he vehemently supported.
Right,
he went on record at a city council meeting and saying, I want to make it clear, I've always been in favor of the purple bags. But then, under his breath and with his fingers crossed behind his back, he whispered to himself, except when it's politically expedient for me to get rid of them, because I'm in so much trouble with all the jobs I'm giving out. I got to give these people something. Maybe they'll forget about the jobs.
Well, they won't. Now, here's what you're getting with this new proposed budget. Okay, it's going to eliminate pay-as-you-throw, as we've made it very clear. If the budget is approved, the elimination of the bags, you won't see them disappear immediately. Approval of the budget without the bags will then begin the process of notifying Waste Zero, the company that has administered the program, of the city's intent to end the program in 90 days. That time frame is contractually obligated. But if the city council rescinds the ordinance for enforcement before that 90-day period expires, you no longer have to buy the bags. And as many of you already know, many stores in the city don't even carry the bags. They can't get them. So this is another reason why the city can't enforce it so well. The total budget is $296.6 million, which represents a 3.5% increase over last year. Taxes will increase 2.5%, which we know is more. The police department will see an increase in manpower with 4 new patrolmen and 1 crime analyst. And 4 new police cruisers are now included in the budget. Hey, equipment's now being included in the budget. What do you know?
Yeah.
The Department of Community Maintenance can also expect to see new faces. We already spoke about one of them. Korea said the budget funds a carpenter, electrician, project manager, and assistant to oversee cemeteries. Another cemetery job, because the guy who's in the cemeteries doesn't know what he's doing.
That's right.
As Mary Jo Oliveira said. And 2 parking clerks. We're going to get to parking clerks in a second. Other positions are also in the budget. The MIS department will be increased by 1. A city council clerk will be added. An assistant will be added to the library. And a position of tourism director, so they can market our drug addiction here in Fall River. The school budget doesn't quite meet 101% of net school spending. And parking meter fees are going to go up to $1 an hour to park on your city streets. And Jazel says that's going to bring us in line with other communities. We're not other communities. What part of that doesn't he understand?
Yeah, but we're not. DPW isn't in line. They're the lowest paid DPW. Workers don't get bring in line crap. And Joe Macy's salary, we're going to have to check to see if that complies with the law, because his earnings are capped in accordance with the law. Because now this is $105,000 in addition to his big giant pension.
Right.
So let's not forget that. And of course, we have these other things. And you know what I want to, I always wonder about these things, because these are kind of things that disappear into the background. Remember the enforcement officers that were hired?
Yep.
I wonder if how long and how much they've gotten paid, and if they're still there.
They were hired under a grant, and the money was gone within 2 months, I was told.
But did we keep them? You can't keep track of them. Did we fund that position somewhere else and nobody knows about it? This is the kind of stuff that goes on. But you see, every time you read a new assistant or a new job, it means another political job, like we just spoke about. Another guy gets his entry-level job so nobody squeaks for $14 an hour. Then 6 months later, he's making $34 an hour. And ironically enough, I ran into somebody who obviously forgot who he was talking to, and he was talking about how his daughter got a job in City Hall. Oh, yeah, or not City Hall, with the city. He didn't specify. Oh, yeah, she started off making kind of peanuts, but she's only been there 6 months, and she's already making like $20-some an hour. So I said, well, that doesn't surprise me. But, but does it irritate you when you get your tax bill? And what else irritates me is when the city council votes on this, they don't clarify it, and when the Herald News reports on it, they don't make it clear. I don't want to see this line. The budget will maintain what has been historically. No, it's not historic. Historically means that it was done during the colonial era. During the Carlton Viveris administration, we didn't even get a tax increase, not even 1%, not 2.5%. It's become historic now because the people are sitting down and letting them jam it to them. They don't complain about this council. And when they put it in, don't put 2.5%. Why don't you put down the actual percentage to the residential taxpayer, to the people who buy the Herald News, to the people who read this article? Why aren't you truthful? You're supposed to be reporting facts. Report the fact. Actually tell them what the percentage will be from last year's taxes after we factor in all the other things.
Yeah, like it's
2.5%, but it's 2.5% of the total levy.
You mean like the water fee?
Yeah. Yeah, like the water fees.
It's only going to be 9 cents more.
Look, I expect politicians to lie. I mean, you can always tell a politician is lying because their lips are moving. But I don't expect the media, especially the print media, who has time to research, not this get it instantaneously story, and then for every half hour later they're readjusting the story because they talked to one witness who had it wrong and another witness who had it wrong. But in the print media, 2.5, historically 2.5. Yeah, that's a generalization that's correct. It is 2.5% under the law. But let's look at the residential tax impact. How much is it from last year's bill for the residential? Because I'm sick and tired of them telling me how we have such a low tax rate, and then I read in the Herald News again that the waterfront, the people are averaging $20,000 for a household income, that 39% of them don't have high school diplomas. You think that tax rate's low? How many times do we have to tell you? If you walk into a restaurant and they have an $8 hamburger and you got 99 cents in your pocket, you're heading to McDonald's. So if you can't stay angry, I don't know what we can get you more angry about. So have a good weekend. It's going to rain tomorrow. Go out and cut the grass.
For all your mothers out there, have a happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
You too, Mara. I know you're watching. Have a great day, people.